Hi Vinyl community, hope you guys are all good, keeping well. I thought I'd do a wee video today. It's kind of jumping in the bandwagon a video Rob Walker done a few months ago, which I also done, which was your 10 favourite UK bands. And when I was going through my collection looking for my 10 favourite UK bands, I realised that I had quite a lot of UK solo artists that were high up in my list of favourites as well. So if you don't mind, Rob, I'm going to take your idea and I'm just going to tweak it a wee bit. Although I did do the 10 favourite UK artists in another video, I'm going to do my 10 favourite UK solo artists in this video. As I said, when I looked through my collection, I realised I had oodles of solo stuff, with standalone artists. So some of it's quite mainstream, some of it isn't. See what you think anyway. This is my top 10. You might agree, you might disagree, you might hate them all, you might like some of them, you might like them all. I don't know, but we'll give it a go anyway. So this is the Final Kicks top 10 UK solo artists. And in at number 10 is Elvis Costello. Now, I specifically chose this album because this is by far and away my favourite Elvis Costello album, but I've got a sort of love-hate relationship with Elvis Costello. It seemed to be like every third or fourth album we brought out I really liked. And it is, if we were doing this in albums alone, this would be one of my favourites. It's a great album, Punch the Clock, along with Armed Forces are my two favourites. And there's other Elvis Costello stuff I just do not like. So that's why he's so far down the list. Had it been this album alone, it'd have been higher up the list. But because of his whole body of work, I'm not too keen on. As I say, a wee bit of love-hate relationship with him, but this is a one for me. So in at number 10 is Mr. Costello himself. Now, number 9's a strange one, because it's the big one himself, so you might say, but wait a minute, he's a storyteller, a comedian, what are you doing here? Well, actually, when Billy Connolly started out in his career, he started as a folk singer round about the pubs and clubs in the west coast of Scotland and other places throughout the country, I suppose. And he played with various folk bands, other folk musicians. I believe he played with Jerry Rafferty as well, and the Humble Bums or something like that. But then when he branched out himself, and originally in his concerts in the early 70s, they were mostly, a large percentage of his concerts were made up of songs, albeit funny songs. And then gradually as his career went on, the songs get less and the funny stories get more. But this album sort of epitomises that early stage of Billy Connolly, with the song Divorce, and the Coat of Many Colours, and the Janny song. And of course, there's the Welly songs as well on it as well. So that's why I put Billy in at number 7, because he's an incredibly good musician. He obviously plays the banjo and the guitar, I believe the ukulele as well. He's a very talented guy all round. So that's why I've got Billy in at number 9, because not only is a decent musician, he's also very funny into the bargain. So, and maybe if you haven't heard some of his musical stuff, albeit it's quite comical some of it, you should give it a go. In at number 8, we've got Baxter Dury, the son of Ian Dury. Now, Ian Dury isn't on my list. Again, okay, there's 10 better. Have some Ian Dury vinyl, but son Baxter, for me, is fantastic. Totally different for his dad. Totally different style. And you can sometimes hear, even vocally, very oddly, very on occasion, you will hear the similarity between him and his dad's voice, but it's few and far between, and it's a very, very different style of music. It's quite laid back, but quite cutting at the same time, quite barbed lyrics, which I quite like. I've got a few of his albums. In fact, he played up here just the back end of last year, beginning of this year, and I couldn't go, I missed it, and I was gutted, because I've heard his live stuff's absolutely brilliant. So there we go. And at number 8 is Baxter Dury. Number 7 is an album I showed before, for an artist I've showed before, and it's Mick Artistic. Now Mick Artistic is I went to see him live and it was a shame because there wasn't many people there. But a great live show. There's no much out in vinyl. But obviously there's this, and I think there might be another couple of things, but they're like hen's teeth. They're really hard to get a hold of. But I do love this album, and I love his other stuff. I usually listen to his other stuff just on a streaming service. I don't have a CD player at the moment. So I put Mick in here. And at number 7, again, he's live artist, brilliant. His songs are really good. He's lyrically, it's easy for me to say, he's very strong as well, and he's just a really good artist. Maybe a strange one, maybe one not many of you guys know. But I should give old Mick a chance. He's about 70, I think now, Mick. He's still a fair age. So should maybe give him a listen and see what you think. It's quite DIY, but it's very good DIY. He's obviously a very good musician. He's just one of these guys that's never had the credibility or the exposure or the fame that he probably deserves, the recognition that he deserves. So it's a shame really, but there we go. Old Mick in at number 7. In at number 6, get back a wee bit now with Joe Jackson. Now, I know Joe Jackson's still producing music to this day, and it's similar-ish to what he done back in the 80s, but his early stuff, like his first 3 albums for me were outstanding. I just love this is the one that's got the band, I love the Lavender Man's a great song, but the band wore blue shirts. I think that's an absolutely brilliant song. So obviously he's more famous for his single I Should Really Going Out With Him. I think was his big single. But this is for me, Joe Jackson's albums are really strong albums. He's certainly more an album based artist than a singles based artist, especially these days. I don't think he'd put anything out in singles these days. But Joe Jackson, because it's one of these albums you'll never get tired of. I can always get back and listen to it. I'll listen to it again. You never get tired of it. It's a very, very good album. I absolutely love it. So I do, and I love Joe Jackson as well. I said probably his earlier stuff for me rather than his kind of later stuff, I would have to say, but he's still absolutely excellent. So that's the kind of back 5. That's 6 through to 10, which was the hardest bit. The first 5 were they were easy. That was there was never any doubt with the top 5. You know, it was shoot you in, as they say. But that back 5 were quite difficult just to pick out, because there was other artists that I had left out that I was sort of twixt in between, and do I put them in or do I not put them in? And it just went totally on merit, or what I thought. It's my taste, isn't it? But the top 5, for me, I said, well, it was a no-brainer. It was very easy to do. The top 5 much harder than that. But I did kind of struggle over what to put in 6 through 10, but we got there anyway. So in 5 is Paul Heaton, and that's his album with Jackie Abbott. But the other stuff, Paul Heaton, he does have stuff. Other solo stuff. He's got I think it's the King of Rock and Roll was one album which I don't have, and he's got a CD which I do have. Paul Heaton, and I think it's AKA Biscuit Boy. It's a Cracker Man album or something like that. But it's a CD, and it's in the guys on my other CDs. But Paul Heaton, Housemartins, Beautiful South. I've seen Housemartins live, seen Beautiful South live. I've seen Paul Heaton live himself. I've seen Paul Heaton with Jackie Abbott. I absolutely love him. I love his voice. I love his lyrics. I love the style of music. I think he's a great writer. He must be one of the best songwriters. You know, I'm not saying he's the best, but no, I wouldn't ever say it, but he's certainly up there. A fantastic songwriter. Again, his lyrics a bit like Baxter Jury. The songs are quite kind of mellow and laid back, but the lyrics are really barbed, really strong, quite political. So he's always loved for the Housemartins right through. Always loved all his stuff, and he's been a driver. And he was in the Housemartins and he was in the Beautiful South, but he was a driver in every one of their bands. Let's not kid ourselves on. You know, if he hadn't been in those bands, wouldn't have been so as successful or so successful. That's debatable. I don't really know. So Paul Heaton, without a doubt, at number 5. Number 4. Wild Billy Childish, an archive for 1959, the Billy Childish story. For any of you that hasn't heard Wild Billy Childish before, or his various guises, you know, there's the Spartan Dregs, and there's the Musicians of the British Empire, Billy Childish, and the Spartan Dregs, Billy Childish, and Musicians of the British Empire. And there's various other, that's about 4 of Billy, the Headcoats, various other bands, there's loads of bands. It's pure garage punk, absolutely brilliant. It's been going forever. He seems to have like a penchant for dressing up in the 30s clothing, which is quite kind of strange, but his music's absolutely brilliant. Just get his last, trying to think what his last album was. I just got an album there. Was there that last year he put out an album, Brand New Cage? Was it Brand New Cage, I think? And it's as good as any of the others. I mean, you can't go wrong. The format doesn't really change. His style doesn't really change. It depends. Sometimes he sings, sometimes the drummer or the bass player sings. So they kind of take turns. But amazing. If you like garage punk, a sort of first wage punk version into garage punk, and maybe even a wee bit of, like late 60s garage punk as well about him. But fantastic. I've never seen him live, and he doesn't play up here very often, if at all. And I mean, a trip down south. I think he's down the sort of home county somewhere he's based. He seems to play a lot down round about London London area, which is fair enough. It's up to him, but what an artist, Wild Billy. And that's, in fact, that photograph there, I'm sure is the cover of his latest album, Brand New Cage. This is a fantastic, 50 track triple album. And really, if you're going to buy one Billy Childish, this is what you really need to buy. Really, if you just want to listen, if you don't want to collect his stuff, you're not going to get into him that much. But this would be a good starting point. Great triple album. His albums aren't usually that expensive, but sometimes you've got to get them direct from him or direct from the record company. Not a lot of places stock them. And this is where I get this one from. So there he is. Well, Billy Childish is number 4, and it was an easy number 4. So it was. Number 3, a relatively newcomer, that's Hamish Hawk. This was his first full album. There was something out before this, but I've got all his stuff, seen him live, absolutely brilliant. What a voice, what an absolute, and a great performer as well, as a showman, total showman. If you get a chance to catch him live, you should. I believe he was a sales rep, he worked for Asai Records in Glasgow, and while he was setting up his band or setting up his musical career, but now he's just fluent his musical career, and he's certainly getting the recognition I think he deserves. He's on Radio 6 quite a lot, they play him quite a bit, and I'm sure I heard him on another radio station the other day, but I can't quite remember what radio station it was. But his albums are so strong. I mean, he's again really good lyricist. His songs are tight, his musicians are tight, lyrics tight, just really good, really good artist. And there's never like any filler in these albums. Like a lot of these guys, these records, there's never really any filler in them at all. It's all really strong tracks that you can listen to again and again, and you really enjoy them. So Hamish Hawk in at number 3. Number 2, Joe Strummer. So it was actually quite tight, 2 and 3, because I'm a massive Clash fan, and I kind of did again. I kind of struggled with myself. Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros, is that a band? It's not quite Joe himself, so that's why I didn't count the Mescaleros in this, and I just went with Joe Strummer. And these should be 2 equal. There shouldn't be a third place. There should be joint second. I think we'll go with that. Had it been the Mescaleros, I thought I could put in. But that is really a band, and they would have been second in their own, because their stuff, especially the Streetcore album's amazing. But it's Joe himself, and Earthquake Weather. This is an album with about 1 million songs on it. This should have been a double album. I mean, it's a clash with Sandinista, which as a triple album really only should have been at maximum a double album. This Earthquake Weather should have been a double album. God, there's so many tracks are on it. I must have about 20. But it's an absolute crack. It's got Gangster Bill, which is a track I absolutely love. And Dizzy's Goatee's another one. So it is some other good stuff on it as well. There's one other song, I can't remember what is it. There's a really like on it as well. It's the second track, King of the Bayou or something, but that's an iconic. I love the cover to this. Joe standing there with the guitar, cigarette, standing in the diving board over the pool there. I absolutely love this album cover. In fact, I think you can get this as a t-shirt, which I'll maybe have to purchase. Because it's not as if I've got enough t-shirts already. You can never have enough t-shirts. The wife will go for nut, but it's one of these things, isn't it? So it is. I'll never match her shoe collection or her bag collection, so there you go. But number 2, God rest him, Joe Strummer, Earthquake Weather. I've got a couple of these solo albums that are a wee bit hit and miss. But this is a really good album. I like it, I really do like it. So joint second with Mr. Hawk. We'll go with joint second. I've dropped third place. I've decided. Number 1, and again, no surprise if anybody's watched any of my other videos. The man himself, the Thin White Duke. There he is. David Bowie. This is a Record Store Day one, this as well. The Soul Tour 1974. I think I've played this album, double album. It was the first one in the pile, and I just lifted it up. I honestly don't think I played this. Anyway, Bowie was always, as I said, I was kind of late comer to Bowie. Up until I heard the Clash, it was more like a chart stuff I heard, and then I got into the Clash and the Ruts, the sort of first wave punk stuff about 77, 78, and then it was my friend's older brother played the Lad Insane album. Until I heard that at my friend's house, the older brother was playing it, and it just blew me away. And if you've heard the story before, I went to buy it, couldn't get it, and I get the Ziggy Stardust album, and that was that. We started in Bowie, that must have been 79, still into the punk stuff, but I reckon 78, 79, but round about that kind of era. And I've been buying Bowie vinyl since then. I've got an absolute shitload of it, along with punk stuff. But yeah, I mean, again, God rest him. I was watching a thing on YouTube about him yesterday or the day before, something I hadn't seen before. It was round about the Isola tour. When he just done the German trilogy, the 3 albums he done there, and it was round about then. What a great guy, man. You know, he's just really witty and funny and really nice to everybody. You know, didn't give anybody a hard time. I'm not saying he didn't have an ego, but he certainly, it didn't come to the fore in any of these sort of interviews. But yeah, great. So, Mr. Bowie was easily number one, absolutely easily. I mean, he won it out of the park. I love all those other guys there, especially the guys in the top 5 in the joyful, but they'll never get near this guy. As a solo artist, he's the best in the world. There's nobody comes close. You can go with other folk that you think, I don't know who, Bob Dylan's and all these folk shite. He's the man. So he is, 100, when it comes to him, he's the man. Top dog, numero uno, El Capitano. In fact, Il Barone, I would say. So there you go. That's Gary at Vinyl Kick and his top 10 UK solo artists. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'm sure you'll let me know if you like them, if you don't like them, or even who your favourite solo artists are. You just let me know, do the comments thing, or whatever it is you do. Leave a wee comment, get in touch, do whatever. I'll do another wee video. I haven't been on for a while because this is holiday period and I've been kind of away, getting back forward a bit, and I was down the Scottish borders there. For a wee while, absolutely beautiful, but strangest thing, came across a wee thrift shop, charity shop, stroke junk shop in a wee village, and quite a bit of vinyl, so I picked up some stuff, so really cheaply. So the next video I do will show you that stuff, plus I've got some stuff getting delivered to the house as well, so it'll be a grand unboxing, plus my thrift store charity shop buys as well. So signing out once again, boys and girls, and as always, stay free.